Hello, my friends, my subscribers, and my viewers around the world. How are you doing today? I'm doing great. And I'm here alone again today. Kay, my wife, is at work, and so she can't join me today. But, she got to work. I thought about what I wanted to talk about today, and I hope I don't bore you. I really don't, but I'm just coming from my heart, coming truth out my mouth, nothing scripted, none of that stuff. I'm just letting you know things that happened to me in my life or whatever the topic we want to discuss about. Well, today I think I'll talk about the many jobs I've had, or some of the jobs I've had. And I've had many. Believe me, I had many jobs when I got out of the military. I had jobs as a Aeronca aircraft when I first got out. I had jobs as a lieutenant in charge of the Greyhound bus station downtown LA. I went to several schools. I went to Rio Hondo Police Academy. I went to Trade Tech College, LACC College, El Camino College, and Southwest College, all of them. Didn't get a degree, but I took up classes in those colleges. And I worked at Trade Tech. I got a certificate in welding. I was a certified welder. And I worked from there. I worked at a Kelly Pipe Yard. Did that for a while. I worked undercover in department stores. I worked in various different clubs around here as a bouncer. I worked at studios, different motion picture studios, the music center. I worked at the McDonnell Aircraft when it was called McDonnell's, but they sold out to Boeing. I've worked there, and I did a lot of odd jobs. I cleaned houses, and I did a lot of stuff. I was sort of a workaholic, if you will, you know. But there's one little job I came to my mind. Pretty interesting. I'd like to share with you today. If I don't bore you, I hope not. But I'm just doing this vlog because I'm here alone and nothing to do. Did everything I anticipated to do this morning. But anyway, the job I had at CBS Studio Center as stage police. Wow, that was something. And I work with many actors there, many actors. I worked for Ellen DeGeneres. I was her bodyguard. I worked for Jerry Seinfeld on his stage on his show. I worked for Burt Reynolds on his show. I worked for Different Wear on their show. I worked for Roseanne Barr on her show, and I worked for many other shows that came to the studio. But one interesting thing happened, and I don't want to mention the lady's name. I'm not trying to down her or anything like that, but she was just the way I'm saying she was, and I'll tell you the name of the show after we get through talking. I worked stage police on a show that was very popular show on the network, and it was a non-union show. So the producers and the executive producers and all that stuff, they hired non-union personnel. What I mean, they hired the lighting crew was all non-union, the cameramen were all non-union, everybody working on that store was non-union. And in that case, they'll have to pay union wages and they get rid of it if they want to. Anyway, this particular lady who worked on the show, man, she was something else. She was very controlling of all her employees that worked under her, very controlling of all the lighting crew, directors, and all that. If she says something, it better happen. It's like they had fear of her, fear of losing their jobs. And at one point, she fired all of them because they laughed on stage. And she said, I didn't give you permission to laugh. And they laughed on stage, so they got rid of all of them and hired and that set back production. So anyway, Anyway, she hired a whole new crew again. She was she was wasn't married, but she met this guy, another comedian, and married him. You know, and he became just about how she thought, same way. You know, to the guy to the point where he had gotten his show, leeching off her, got his show on the show, and she got her show. So there's conflict. They began to argue, and the production office was right across to maybe 50 feet away from their dressing room. They had their dressing room, and they both worked on each. They had the stage. He had his stage. He was doing a little thing on, and she had her stage. So anyway, so they were well known on the studio as a defunct couple on the stage. They were talked about. Everybody talked about them and everything like that. And even one time, her husband put someone's parked in his parking spot. Nice enforced parking spots too, and they're all assigned. Parked in his spot, and he must have went off. Wrote a nasty note and told one of his assistants to come out and take a picture of his bare butt. Put his pen to take a picture of his bare butt and wrote "Kiss my ass" on the picture, for Polaroid picture, and put it in the windshield of the person. The person that she put it in was I don't know. You know her. She worked on Seinfeld. She saw that, one of the principals. She saw that and went off. So both stages got to arguing back and forth. They start getting their equipment. They loan each other and all this stuff. They loan each other. My friend Burt Reynolds walked by and said, "What's up?" So the person's name, so and so. "How are you doing?" You know. And he said, "I ain't doing till where someone parked in my spot." "Oh, well, you can handle it." Stuff like that, you know. That was one incident. And another incident was this person. It was a girl. She was in her dressing room, and so her husband came up to the dressing room, and she wouldn't let him in. And he told her, "Open the door. I got to get my scripts. I got to come in and get my scripts. Open the door." And she said, "Way she sound, no, I'm not going to open the door for you." And they got into a big argument. He was banging on the door. So he left, and I got a call. Go to so-and-so area. There's a sort of like a domestic abuse between these two people. So I had to go over there, stand down at the bottom of the steps. They told me not to go inside, do anything, just stand there and make sure nothing happens. So I was watching. He left. Came back and tried to get in again. And she couldn't get in. She still wouldn't open the door. So he left. And by that time, she came out. And when he saw her come out, he rushed over to get her, and I'm holding them all back with my hands, and then going around in circles trying to keep them back from tearing each other's throat. By that time, another driver came up, the guy she was messing around with, Big Ben, came, scooped her up, and they left. So he went upstairs and threw everybody out. He cut one of the assistant's arm and all that. She's complaining to me. I said, "Well, I'll go, we'll call the ambulance and stuff like that." She said, "Never mind." So she went in. So he went up inside there. Before he went in, the production officer called a locksmith to change all the locks on the doors. So I go up there, and I go inside. He was in there, and I said, "Man, why are you acting like this, man? The whole studio's watching." "I don't care. She wouldn't give my script. Get out of my dressing room." She said, "I don't want nobody in there." So I'm looking around in there, very posh. They had it all fixed up, ready to change the whole dressing room around, all posh. "Get out of my dressing room. I don't want nobody in here. All right, this is my place. I pay rent here," and all this stuff like that. I said, yeah, but you're making a spectacle of yourself, man. People watching you. I don't care. She should have gave my dress room. I tried to talk to her. Da 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 da. So I said, okay, all right. And he tried to kick the locksmith out, but the locksmith already finished the last lock and wouldn't give him a key. So so I left. I went back and stood outside like my boss told me to. And by that time, there was so much media out at the front gate, which is about maybe 100 feet away, and they're not allowed on studio. Wouldn't let the media on the studio. Hard copy and all kind of all those those, what do you call it? Got those newspapers and everything. I forgot. But anyway, they were all out there. They saw me. They sent somebody that was on the studio over to tell me, could I come over there and give them a story? They'll pay me $10,000. I said, $10,000? Wow, that's a lot of money then. And so I called my captain. I said, look, this news media said they want to give me $10,000 if I just talk to them for a few minutes. And my captain said, you go talk to them if you want to. But if you do, you're fired. Like that. And I said, wow, I can't do my job. I have family to feed and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I went back and still watched the stage and all that stuff. So, and watched the dressing room so nobody wouldn't come back up there and raise all kind of sand. And that's just one of the many incidents that happened between this couple on the stage. One other incident, I'm driving my patrol car, my patrol cart. We drove carts on the studio. So I'm driving along, and this is a certain speed limit. So anyway, this cart pulled up behind me, honking the horn, bam, 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 bam. And she was yelling, the same lady, she was yelling, get the hell out of my way, like that, right? Real loud. So I pulled over, and she pulled up beside me. I said, what did you say? I said, get the hell out of my way. Ha, 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 ha. And it really ticked me off, And her assistant that was riding with her, we were friends. We talked a lot. Her name was Kim. I'll tell you her name. We talked a lot. We were friends. But she laughed with Roseanne. I knew why she was laughing, because Roseanne, I told the name, laughed. So anyway, that was pretty. I called my supervisor, and I said, look, she just drove by me and cursed me out. And he told me, well, don't say anything to her because she got a show. She's very popular. We don't want anything to happen. And we don't want to cause no mess and nothing like that. So I let it go. And there's been other incidents that took place with this woman. I mean, and then I couldn't do nothing. My hands were tied. Back then. But anyway, she was one of the worstest person I ever worked for at that studio. Ellen DeGeneres, very nice woman. I worked on her show as the stage police. My job was to protect her dressing room, stand by her dressing room. When she comes off stage to do her little skit, she'll come by me and, hey, how you doing, Keith? You know my name, I said, I'm fine, I'm doing good. She'll go in there and cut the music up real loud in her dressing room, start dancing. She loved to dance, man. This lady loves to dance. And then when it's time for her to go back on stage, I escorted her back to the stage. She went in and did a little skit and came back out. She was very cool. Another person that was very nice and very cool was Burt Reynolds. I worked with him on his stage. When he came to the studio, and before he even starts his show, I don't care if you're a producer or if you were one of the principal actors or you're one that cleaned the stage, whatever position you did there, He made everybody hug each other, embrace each other. Say, how you doing? Hug each other. I thought that was so cool. We all had to hug each other and say, how you doing? How you doing? And stuff like that. Burt Reynolds started that. And, and then later on, him and Lonnie got into it. And that's a whole nother story. But she was cool. Very cool. On Emerald Ghazi, he's a cook. Very nice guy. He went by and how you doing, son? Or whatever he called me. I said, I'm doing okay. How are you? He said, look, I got something for you. He went inside the stage, came make out a big giant piece of chocolate cake. He said, here, try this for size. Big piece of cake. Gave it to me. That was really good. And man, I can go on and on and on. One person had their nose stuck in the air as another actor. I don't want to mention his name, but he had a show there. I met a lot of people, a lot of actors, a lot of celebrities I knew very well. I was there when they built the new stages there. I was there when they changed different stages, changed different shows, and all that. And all these actors, they all got their little personalities. Some of them are real good, or cool, and some of them got their nose stuck in there, like their shit don't stink. I'm just telling you. And they're just actors going to work like any other person. Just go to work, do what they got. Let's get is, and just leave. And it's so much that happened at that studio. CBS Studio Center. Yes. I had good times and I had bad times. I did a lot of favors for people. And the reason why I've done favors, which I didn't have to do, carry scripts over the stage, take it to production offices, different things like that, because when my son passed away, Keith Jr. had passed away, I had a son that passed away. They came to my rescue, and they consoled me. I'm talking about the different production companies that I did favors for. Gave me cards, gave me wish me well, and some of them even cried with me. Some of them were very sensitive. They even cried with me, And so that studio had a big spot in my heart, a big thing in my heart. And all the other officers I was friends with were very cool. Everything went well with us, except when the chief was an ex-fireman, and he did a favor for his other buddy fireman that he retired from the fire department. And I had the best job there. I was a rover, gave out tickets, made sure parking spaces were clear, rode around the studio, make sure everything is okay, worked on stages. But he wanted my job. And so they did this in a real bad way. I don't want to curse, but they did a real bad way to get rid of me. My chief came up to me, and I was doing hiatus time. Hiatus means all the shows are on leave on hiatus, and they start a lot of pilots for new shows. And he came up to me and said, "Hey, Officer Madison." I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "I had to make a change." I said, "What's that?" He said, "Because I was working 2 jobs at that particular time." He wanted me to come in after he told me I can work that certain particular time, to change my times around. I had to change my times around. And I said, "Well, why? We're on hiatus. There's nothing going on now. Why do I need to?" And he said, "Well, I need to do it done. You need to make a choice, this job or the other job." Now I was working 2 good jobs. They both paid pretty good and everything, And so I said, I didn't like the way he spoke to me. So I said, "Well, okay, you I'm gone. I told Mom, I'm leaving. If that's the way you feel about it, I'm leaving. You lied to me. You said I can hold this position, but you lied to me. Come to find out to other officers that he wanted to get that job to his buddy. Mm-hmm. His buddy. He worked with, he was on the fire department with. So that happening, they ended up firing him, and his buddy moved up to chief. He's dead now. Good guy. I liked him. And, and I started, they asked me to come back. And I said, well, I'll come back and work part-time if you guys need me, which I did. I worked some shows part-time because I was good. I was really good. And I just thought I'd share that with you. I'm going to share other jobs with you. You wouldn't believe that happened to me on other vlogs. But I hope I didn't bore you too much with this. But, it's the only thing I can talk about in my life. If I go anywhere or take trips, I can vlog that. Or, but Kay's working now and we can't go nowhere. And she'll be able to be with me on the weekend and share things with you. But it's quite an experience, So I left the studio and they regretted it. They did. They really did, because people started asking about me. They wanted me there. They want to know what happened and all that, So, the people that worked there, officers that worked there, they told them. I visited the place when Kay came out here. I took her to where I was working at. We went to the studio and all that, and they were all glad to see me. They welcomed me on the studio because you can't get on the studio without a badge. I didn't have my badge, but they all knew me and let me on. I drove back to the gate. I showed Kay all the different stages that I worked on in the studio. I went all the way to the back at the gate where another friend of mine was working. He told me that it really changed. Things have really changed. He said they're trying to really get me to me now and all that. They got a new chief there. The other chief, Ernie Long, had died. And a lot of things have changed. The studio's still there. It's going to be there. But anyway, that was one of my experiences. There's a lot more. I can't go on and on and on because it takes hours when I worked there as stage police. And I just want to share that with you. If you like it, please subscribe, like, share, and comment below. Leave me some comments if you ever worked on a studio or anything like that, or things you want to ask me about it. And I'll surely share it with you. So anyway, I'm going to end this little video because I got other things I want to tell you guys about other places I worked at. You ain't going to believe. Okay. You guys have a great day. I'll see you on the next Keith and K, my little Filipina.